Growing up with little money often gets misunderstood. People assume it only creates stress, limitation, or disadvantage. But psychology shows that early financial scarcity doesn't just shape what you lack, it quietly shapes who you become. If you grew up watching every dollar, hearing we can't afford that, or learning early that money decisions mattered, you may carry patterns that look like anxiety or overthinking on the surface. But beneath that, there are strengths most people never develop. Here are 4 hidden psychological traits that often come from growing up with little money, and why they are not weaknesses at all. Trait 1. You're highly aware of consequences. Psychology shows that children raised in resource-limited environments develop stronger cause and effect thinking earlier in life. When money is tight, choices have visible outcomes. If you spend here, something else disappears. As an adult, this can show up as hesitation before spending, overthinking purchases, or mentally running scenarios before deciding. You might worry you're too cautious or too serious. But this trait is actually advanced foresight. You don't act impulsively because your brain learned early that actions echo forward. You naturally think in systems, not moments. In real life, this means you're often the person who catches risks others miss. You plan before problems appear. You see the downstream effects of decisions, financially, emotionally, socially. What feels like anxiety is often just awareness without reassurance. When paired with self-trust, this trait becomes strategic thinking. Trait 2. You're emotionally independent earlier than most. Research indicates that children who grow up with financial stress often learn to self-regulate sooner. When parents are overwhelmed, kids adapt by minimizing needs, reading the room, and managing emotions quietly. As an adult, this may look like being self-reliant, not asking for help easily, or feeling uncomfortable depending on others. You might feel like you've always had to handle things yourself. But this trait reflects early emotional maturity. You learned how to stay steady even when external support was uncertain. In relationships and work, this often shows up as resilience. You don't crumble easily under pressure. You stay functional when things go wrong. You can tolerate discomfort without panic. The reframe here is important. Independence doesn't mean you shouldn't receive support. It means you already know you'll survive if you don't, and that's power, not damage. Trait 3. You attach meaning to money beyond status. Psychology suggests that people raised with scarcity tend to see money as security, safety, and stability, not identity or image. Money isn't about proving worth. It's about reducing stress. That's why flashy spending often feels uncomfortable to you. You may not care about appearing wealthy. You care about being okay. This can make you feel out of place in cultures that glorify excess. But it also gives you something rare, clarity. You understand that money is a tool, not a scoreboard. You're less likely to chase lifestyle inflation. You value peace over performance. This trait protects you long-term. While others tie self-esteem to income, you separate who you are from what you earn. That creates emotional stability many people never reach, even with more money. Trait 4. You're highly adaptable under uncertainty. Research on resilience shows that repeated exposure to manageable stress builds adaptive coping skills. Growing up with little money often means plans change, resources fluctuate, and certainty is rare. As an adult, this can look like restlessness or hypervigilance, always preparing for what if. But it also means you're excellent in unstable environments. You know how to adjust, stretch resources, and stay functional when things aren't ideal. You don't freeze easily. You problem solve. In careers, this often translates to versatility. You can pivot when others panic. You learn fast because you had to. You're comfortable figuring things out as you go. What others call luck is often your adaptability working quietly in the background. Trait 5. You value security more than shortcuts. People who grew up with financial instability tend to be less attracted to quick wins. Psychology shows that early scarcity can reduce risk-seeking behavior when losses feel personally threatening. You may distrust get-rich-quick ideas. You prefer slow progress. You build foundations instead of chasing spikes. This might make you feel behind in a world obsessed with fast success. But it also protects you from collapse. You build things that last. You prioritize sustainability over excitement. And over time, that creates real stability, not just the appearance of it. Here's the important part. If you grew up with little money, you didn't just grow up with less, you grew up aware. Aware of consequences. Aware of instability. Aware of what actually matters. These traits don't mean you're broken. They mean your nervous system learned survival early, and now you get to teach it safety. The goal isn't to erase these traits. It's to soften them with self-trust, so awareness becomes wisdom instead of worry. If this resonated with you, you're not alone, and you're not behind. You're shaped by experience, not damaged by it. Subscribe for more psychology insights that help you understand yourself without judgment and turn quiet patterns into strengths.